Welcome, everybody. March 2025 in the Loop with Tom Durrance. Watch this, episode 55. Wow, thank you for your support as I climb the ladder of mileage of podcasting. I trust you're enjoying these. I've said it all the time. Let me just repeat myself. If you like it, share it, get the word out. I'm here to help bivocational pastors and leaders. Also, I have a website that coincides with Tom Durrance. In the Loop with Tom Durrance, and it's called influenceministries.net, influenceministries.net, and there are a host of resources on there that are free, complimentary, and I just want to help speed up the leadership game in your life. Okay, March episode, podcast title, here you go. You ready for the title? It's simply this: Leading with Care, the Power of a Compassionate Leader. Come on, somebody. You know I can't do a podcast without saying, come on, somebody. Can't even preach a message without saying, come on, somebody. But leading with care and compassion can be a game changer to your team, your staff, the people that you are leading to get to where you want to go. Why compassionate leadership matters? Great question I asked myself. Let me just give you my thoughts. An introduction to the concept of leadership and why many traditional models focus on authority, power, and control rather than empathy and care. Hey, it's the 21st century. Leadership in the past, in my opinion, has been associated with traits like being tough or strict, but how this doesn't necessarily lead to successful fulfillment in people. Some leaders, unfortunately, come off as mean. Yes, I said it, mean, distant. Here's a good word, abusive, and how it might stem from their own lack of confidence or understanding what true leadership is. It's kind of funny how sometimes in the areas we are deficient, we over-exaggerate those in other people's lives. So I'm just saying, come on, get some confidence, lead with love, lead with care, be compassionate. You know, what is leadership? Leadership is more than just giving orders. I think it's about guiding and inspiring and evaluating others for a common goal. We're here to do this for the Lord. You know, I live in the church environment in the kingdom world. And so the people around me at our church make me a better person. Our church becomes better because of the camaraderie of the leadership. So what makes a leader mean? A look at why some leaders come across harsh and insecure. Some come across domineering. Often it stems from their own insecurities about the fear and not being in control. The word I would use here is a control freak. God, help us not to micromanage. I don't do good with micromanagement. I'm sorry. My personality doesn't lend itself to being micromanaged. But if you micromanage people that don't like to be micromanaged, you're creating a situation of resentment eventually. Maybe some lead out of meanness, because the fear of being vulnerable. Some leaders think that they need to be rigid or distant to earn respect. Not so. Maybe some leaders are mean because of lack of confidence. Leaders who aren't sure of themselves may lash out or lead with authority instead of compassion. Authority, compassion. Can I just provoke your thoughts in this month of May, or March rather, to be compassionate? A cycle of poor leadership. Leaders who are mean often end up isolating the players in the game, which only compounds to the cycle of low morale and disconnect. And I'm going to say resentment. And then when resentment kicks in, you know what? You do the minimum. You're out of there. When the job's done, you do just the minimum. Could you do a little? Yeah, but when we get resentful, they don't deserve it, and they treat me like trash. Come on, leadership. Come on, people of God. Come on, saints of God. And how can you identify? Here's the question. How can you identify if you're leading from a place of fear or insecurity rather than confidence? How can you identify? Look in the mirror. Hello, mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Am I the meanest leader of them all? That was pretty good, huh? So what does leading with care mean? Okay, I've identified a problem. I've pinpointed it. I'm not a naysayer podcaster. I don't live in the victim mentality. No, I never have and never will. I'm not starting. So I talked about some mean, domineering traits. So it begs the question for my podcast, What does leading with care mean? It's all about bringing your full self into your leadership, listening, empowering others, and genuinely caring about their well-being of the people that rally with you. Here's some areas. Compassion equals strength. Come on, somebody, let me say it again. Compassion equals strength. Compassionate leadership doesn't make you weak. I think, in fact, it requires more strength to be open and vulnerable and to admit mistakes and to empower others. Take the value others bring and don't feel like you've got to squash and put your thumb on it, and empower them. Here's one I've heard several years ago. I kind of like the term, but the two words are emotional intelligence. Are you like smart up here, or do you always doing, I'm going to say, dumb stuff in the room? You ever heard the phrase, they're not very smart in the room? Some leaders are like that. Actually, some followers are like that too. The sword cuts both ways, so I'm not bashing leadership. Obviously, my whole passion is leadership. But I'm bashing things that make us bad leaders. I will bash things and debunk things that make us emotionally unintelligent. Because good leadership, compassionate leadership, it builds trust. Compassion helps build deep trust, and when trust is present, a team can achieve incredible things. If I trust you, if I believe in you, if I empower you, aren't you going to do more? Aren't you going to be more energized? Aren't you going to have more of an entrepreneurial spirit? Hey, let's get it done. I get up early. Let's plow, baby. We got this. That's the people I want working at our church. That's the people I want around me in any project I have. Good stuff. Come on. Listening actively. What are we talking? I'm talking about leading with compassion, being nice, really hearing out the players in the game, hearing their concerns, their challenges and ideas. And it's not just all about business. It's, hey, how are you doing? In fact, I'm recording this session tomorrow. I'm doing the lunch with one of our leaders. I text them, hey, I miss you. I want to hang out with you. Let's do lunch tomorrow. I don't have an agenda. I just want to say, hi, how are you doing? How's life? What you thinking? What you got going on this weekend? What's your hobbies? And we're going to go, we're in SoCal, so we're going to go get some tacos. And I want to be an active listener. Here's another one. How to become a compassionate leader. Bring empathy. Making time to connect at a human level. That's what I'm going to do for lunch tomorrow. I'm going to connect with it and at a human level of someone I lead, offering support to them when needed. Again, my podcast title is about leading with compassion. Maybe you could frame it leading with love. But in the context of my podcast this month, mean and abusive and domineering is not an option. Come on, let's be honest, look in the mirror and ask myself, am I one of those leaders? Do I have those traits? Dear Lord Jesus, my God, help me. Compassionate leaders don't let things slide. I'm not saying, okay, whatever, bummer. No, compassionate leadership is going to be asking for feedback on specific things. I may have to deal with something. It's not like a free pass. Oh, he's compassionate. You can do whatever you want. No, you can't do whatever you want. But I'm going to show that I care. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. But I'm not going to be mean. Can I get my point across and do what God's called me to do as a pastor without being mean and fearful? Let's make some wins. I'm a football and sports fan, so let me just weave in some analogies, right? If we're going to get baseball season starting, spring training, if we're going to get to the World Series, I got to celebrate some successes along the way. Yes, I'm going to strike out. I'm going to ground out into a double play. Yes, I'm going to get back in the dugout and be frustrated, but I want to acknowledge the hard work of the team and the accomplishments because I know that boosts morale and motivation. If you're a leader that's only harping and complaining and grinding, and that comes natural for you, all I'm saying is slow down, open the aperture of life, of your leadership camera, and say, God, hey, let me get spiritual for a minute. Last Supper, Jesus says something to the effect, hey, one of you is going to betray me. And one of the disciples says, Lord, is it I? Self-reflecting, emotional intelligence, smart in the room. They're not looking around the other. Oh, I knew it was him. I knew it was Judas. Oh, I knew Judas. Judas is money hungry. I knew this was going to come. No, I'm amazed at the self-reflection. Lord, is it I? And what about our leadership? Lord, am I leading by being a tyrant and mean? Am I falling prey to this? But maybe this leadership podcast can help me recognize. And ultimately, my goal is, honestly, is to liberate you from meanness, liberate you from negativism and these other areas of your life, and to build a leadership of compassion, build a leadership of community, build a leadership of cohesiveness, build a leadership of these things that so when you face challenges, you become a resilient team. And leading with care allows you to feel more connected. And people feel more connected to you. It fosters, watch this big word, authenticity. And fulfilling the experience of, hey, this is a leader. Can a leader make mistakes while leading with care? Yes. I'm not naive. I'm not new. Okay, I'm a veteran. How can leaders balance compassion but hold their team to high standards? I would say this. Let me encourage you this, and I'm about done here. Hear me out. I want to challenge you today. I want to encourage you to reflect on your own leadership style. Come on, just look in the mirror, you and God. Are you leading with care and compassion, or do you tend to fall back to a more mean, domineering tactics? What changes can you make today? I want my podcast to challenge you. I don't want to just do podcasting for fun. I got plenty of stuff to do. My life's full. But if my podcasting can make a difference and challenge you to become bigger, better, compassionate, loving, then I'm going to say, okay, it's worth it. I'll continue to do these podcasts. But I want you to understand here, watch, life is a journey. You don't have to be perfect, but being open, kind, and empathetic can help you become a better leader. Come on, let's just be honest. But it might take time. It might take work. Leading with care will not only help others, it will help you grow as a leader too. Win-win, is it not? Leadership will help others when I'm careful and kind, and I grow and become a better leader, and I get more work done for God than I could have done otherwise as a tyrant. Okay, I think I'm done. Title again, Leading with Care, the Power of a Compassionate Leader. Hey, thank you. May God bless you all. Let's go out there and win every day and do what God's called us to do.